not a day in my life. As long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lap. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. 20 of us, that's 20 goons in them. Ice cream whip, triple school. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna blame me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation, don't try my patience. I'ma pull out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bread until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die.
The young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. Yeah. I just had to let you know. Yeah. Give me that work and I can sell it. I put it on the line like I ain't selfish, nah. The story flip if I let you tell it. Put my heart and soul in so you feel it. I ain't never faking, I'm the realest since Tupac in imprisonment, claiming his innocence. Currently, I'm the greatest rapper in a sense. But any currency, I'm still guaranteed my wins. This is coming from within, I stuff for real, I don't pretend. When the OG spilling knowledge, bet it's best you soak it in. I'm a prophet to them scholars, got them chakras opening. Got them fixing up they octaves, now they truly focused in. I'm seeing 2020 visions. Daily manifesting on my premonitions. Best to keep it neutral, got my own religion. The brainwash, gotta make your own decision. My word is James Bond, I stay on the mission. Coming for the top position, ain't no competition, man. Pull up in the top is missing, the opposition in. All that lane switching, this is what the game is. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know. It's the young, incredible, honestly unforgettable. You a Joe like Chappelle show. This so perennial. Do this for my millennials. I be murdering any flow. I just had to let you know.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Madden 20 on EA Sports. We're just about set to get started, and this ought to be a good one, between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Houston Texans. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it, this crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Houston Texans. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
And he'll give it here to his running back. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and it's going to be third down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. Let him go by a little too easily there.
Well, that's what we saw on film, isn't it? His head goes down oftentimes when he goes to punch, when he's trying to block. And when you do that, you can't see your target. He went right past him and made the play.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
35 yards on the return. Picked up some good blocks as well. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. So out come the Texans in great starting field position. And leading them out there, their 6'5" quarterback.
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago, where he talked about he wants to have the type of season that at the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who have helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And he's going to wind up getting this all the way down to the Buccaneers' 10-yard line. With a lot of the media, Charles, ourselves included, starting to prep those MVP ballots, you wonder if last week's performance, which he admitted was not very good, if that hurt him at all coming down the stretch.
Less than 50 yards on the ground in last week's game that you referenced, and let's face it, if he has another game like that, we'll erase him from the MVP discussion. He won't even be talked about anymore. He has to.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. From 10 yards out, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. You know, in our research packet this week, prepping for the game, so many articles from the local beat writer about the offensive struggles of this team and what will they do. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Oh, free safety blitz. That can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
He is taken down at the 21 after a short gain of 2. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Off-play action. Freeman. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play action sack. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now, standing just outside his own goal line. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, you know, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have a playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So this is they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
Check nickel.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Beal. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. All told, it's an even 30 and a 1st down. Boy, some big runs here, Charles, already in this 1st quarter.
Yeah, if the lanes are there, go ahead and exploit them. But what I like the most, how decisive he is, putting his foot in the ground and going.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fade.
So 2nd and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. They're going to look to throw. Got an open man. It's Washington. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. They'll set up a throw. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this 1st quarter. After 7-0 on EA Sports.
Down, 30 base, opposite. Yep.
Joker. He got
Gone.
Alert flare. Check 3.
Now.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there. With touchdown number 23 here on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. The point after is good, and that'll make the score 14-0. 5 plays there on that drive, and a 9-yard run on the end of it. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game.
This is intercepted. Picked off at the 45. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
Hey! 6 guys! Look at me! Go! Check 13! Check, crunch! Check 26! Watch out! 5!
On first down, Beal. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
2nd and 5. Wide open receiver complete. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. So a big pickup that time. And Charles, defending AFC Player of the Week, maybe bucking towards another award this week.
Yeah, and they say they don't really care about the individual awards. You and I both know
they do.
It means a lot to them. It means respect around the league. And if he's able to show those kind of hands all game long, he can win a second one.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. An 11-yard touchdown. And the Texans push further out in front.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and in throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
To throw on third down, Freeman. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That was their 3rd sack of the ball game. 2nd in the league in sacks coming into this one. They're planning on making it a race to the top, aren't they?
Absolutely. They're looking up at that top spot, but they might be looking down at the 2nd spot pretty soon. Here comes the Buccaneers punter now as he's on to kick it away. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. We're in the second quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on second down.
X3, 218, chopper. Bravo. Shoot.
2nd and 6. And he will find his man on the outside. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Ready, break. Shift. Hey, alert 3. He's checking. Crash. Big grip.
They'll run on first down. Field. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. Defensively, celebration time because they finally forced an incompletion. He was perfect throwing the ball to that point.
Yeah, but from his viewpoint, they didn't force the incompletion. He just missed. That's how hot he is right now, and that's how he wants to continue to throw the ball.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. So it looks like the offense isn't going anywhere. They're going to go for it on 4th and 7. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. And it is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. Here again comes the captain of this offense leading his crew back out there now. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe they've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. The completion good for 3, and it's second down. Now they got to get to the line quickly. Hit from behind, and he's going to be driven down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Throwing on 3rd and long. Freeman.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And he gets it away. A directional kick going toward the sideline.
Let's go.
And now out comes Houston. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe, because they get reeled in all the time when you sit on the ball. I think that they will try and move the ball downfield and try and squeeze a few more points out of this first half. They'll be careful. They'll be a little bit cautious at times, but also they will attack downfield and try and get in position for at least 3 points.
A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Ready? 15, Lonnie. 15, Lonnie. Ready?
2nd and 9 now. Oh, he's got him in wide open, complete. And it's a fumble. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And he returns it to the end zone. A fumble recovery touchdown for the Bucs. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week. He's smiling. Extra point splits the uprights, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
He's coming. We got double up. He's coming.
They'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Undercrush. Check.
So we have come to halftime, and now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And now out comes Houston. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. Those are the type of runs that we did not see from him in the first half, but a good start to the third quarter.
And I know what everyone's thinking that's watching this. They did a great job adjusting at the half. Oftentimes you don't make adjustments. You just dial into your game plan a little bit better, and maybe they're starting to make some headway.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. With another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind. Because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. that doesn't happen, it looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It's a loss of 4. Now third down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Looking to throw. Freeman. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
This is taken at about the 14. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. There have been no struggles here for this crew. I mean, they were up double digits at halftime, and they've just expanded that here in the second half.
And it appears there are no answers from the defensive side. I think right now, if I'm the coordinator, if I'm down on the field, if I'm wearing a hat, I've already thrown it. If it's a visor, it's sailed, right? My game plan is down by my feet right now because nothing I've drawn up appears to be working.
Well, he's going to have to find something right now to stop this offense. On first down, Beal. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a 1st.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down.
Wide, get wide. Hey, check 24, check 24. Check safety. Ready.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. And down to the 16-yard line. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
Go now. 70, Indy. Hey, Haywood. Shoot.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Texans push further out in front. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, if you have him, you use him because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
The extra point up and good. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Back to throw. Freeman.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Fielded at the 20. 34 yards on the return, but for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. And now out comes Houston. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because
this is caught inside the 15. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. It's a gain of 34. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll run on 1st down. It's Beal, and he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Back now in Houston. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4.
Recon, 132 fighter. Kill. Go. Leo. Kill. Turn up. Kill. Turn up. Get it.
On 2nd down now. Hatcher. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Alert 3. Jim. Hey, check 20. Let's go.
On 3rd down, Beal. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him.
And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. A 15-yard touchdown grab as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. So another score there. And often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Throwing on 1st down. Freeman. He'll get it in the hands of Clark. Complete. And he'll get this from the 25 to the 30 for a pickup of 5. 5 yards on the catch there. Brings up 2nd down. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to. And the pressure gets to him again.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Pulled in at the 24. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now was dominating and kicking around a team who had been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from the first one and blew out the Seahawks.
9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Well, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The extra point up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, Freeman. And that will be incomplete. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Here comes the Buccaneers punter now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This is fielded at the 27. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. That one looks like he'll throw here. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially.
Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen. Hey, seam 6, seam 6.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
23 yards on the play.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
But right now, maybe.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Point after, up and good. And that will extend this big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest.
Don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
I got him.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Freeman. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down.
Here we go.
The end result, 21 yards. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Houston, it's a 10th win of the year now as they move to 10-4. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they drop their 10th game now to fall to 4-10. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.